Hello from beautiful downtown Gdansk. It has finally snowed here. It's our first snow of the season. I gotta tell you, friends, it's cold, but that's okay. It's a beautiful day. Got an update for you. It's been a little while, but we've been busy, and I've got the time today to do it. So we're gonna do it. So we just want to welcome you here and tell you what's been going on the last couple of weeks. Catching up, going back 3 weeks ago, we were at the second campus of the church that we go to here in Gdansk, which is in Sopot. It's right on the lines in Sopot. And they had a guest speaker there whose name was Dick Helm. Dick was an NBA coach, and I knew I had seen his name somewhere. I think he maybe was involved with the Promise Keepers movement for a little bit, but he has since become a minister. One of the NBA guys, pro players that he used to work with, also knows the Lord, has set up a foundation and pays for all of Dick's travel the world over, wherever he needs to go. All of his expenses are paid for.
Just so he can evangelize.
Just so he can evangelize. And then that next Thursday, we had Thanksgiving. Yeah. There's
our first Thanksgiving in Poland.
Our first Thanksgiving here, yeah. And we didn't think actually anything was going to come of Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
We just thought, I'll buy a K-Pon and we'll stuff it and do something here. But it turns out that there's a group of expats, not just American expats, though. There was probably, I think, 7 or 8 nations represented in the group of people that were there. We went to a school in Gdynia. It's a Christ for the Nations school. And Bible school. And there was, 40, 50?
Yeah, 40 or 50 people
maybe more people there. You'll see as the photos go by here. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful evening. Just to
it was a lot of fun.
Just to be with people who are thankful. There was the acknowledgement that it was an American holiday, but everybody said, why not be thankful? Yeah. Let's take a day to be thankful. And so it was neat to be with other believers, neat to be with some Americans. A special shout out to Kathy and Paul
Cagle.
Thank you very much. Seriously, some of the neatest folks, like people that, you meet some people and you fall in love with them like immediately, like they've been part of your family forever. Kathy and Paul Cagle, definitely. And their son Josh Cagle actually runs the other branch, the church where Dick Helm was at. He's the pastor of that church there.
And he heads up the Christ for the Nations Bible School.
Christ for the Nations Bible School. So we went with Nancy and Tomasz Ropieko, the pastors here in Gdansk at the church that we attend. And then the next weekend, part of why this has been so full is that the very next weekend we go to Koszalin.
We went to Koszalin. So they were having another guest speaker that is a well-known Christian teacher in Poland. And
travels all over Poland, speaks to churches.
And so we had already planned that weekend we were going to be in Białogard, and Sylvik and Eva said, come to Koszalin, there's this guest speaker. So we went there, and that was really cool because I've both been to the church, the Pentecostal church in Koszalin, but it was when Marek Kamiński was the pastor, and it was before they had the building that we met in.
We've never been in the new building.
For this meeting. And so that was really cool to see this new building that had so much history. Our church did an outreach called Brotherhood Beyond Boundaries, and they started it there at that church, and they would bring pastors from all over Poland and Belarus and Latvia and Lithuania and Estonia, and just have like a pastor's kind of conference for them at that church, and just to see the places where like our friends had been serving in that ministry.
Our kids had been. My brother-in-law had been. Yeah. It was neat to finally be in that church. And there was a lady that came up and recognized Lori from 2002.
Yeah.
Plus we got to see some old friends that we met in 2016. The Leovskis, they came by, and of course we went with Sylvia and Emma. Jack and Agnes were there. So that was really cool. So we spent a day and a night there in Koszalin, came back the next weekend, and then it finally snowed. As you can see from the intro, and it got cold.
Cold, seriously cold.
Oh man, it got cold. It really wasn't any colder than home, but the wind. Oh man, when you got the wind coming off the Baltic like that, it was.
Yeah, there were some days when it was like the temperature was 24, but the wind chill was 8. And that's a lot of difference.
It's funny being exposed at those temperatures with stuff like that. So that was our first cold. But you know, we survived and we're no problem. And I mean, you know how to handle cold. Well, they have started to decorate for Christmas.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, they've started to decorate for Christmas. The Forum Mall, which is right by us, which you're seeing pictures of right now, has amazing decorations. They have got this huge atrium area inside. And it's 4 stories from the floor to the ceiling, and they have hung a sailing ship in there, and it is decorated with Christmas lights. It's got cannons on the side with lights in them, and they go off and make the boom sound, you know. And the prow is the head of a lion on it. And then they've got these giant snowflakes. They've got decorations where the lights chase each other, you know, through the decorations, and then outside. Oh my goodness. The biggest Christmas tree I have seen outside of the United States, like this one would give Rockefeller Center a run for its money. It's huge. Yeah. Absolutely huge. And of course, getting on toward Christmas. How many days?
14 school days.
14 school days, and how many days till Christmas?
Oh, well, today's the 3rd, so 22.
How many hours?
I don't know how many hours.
We were looking forward to going to Germany this year, but due to our status, we haven't gotten our stamp yet from the Polish government, so we're not allowed to leave. So we are not doing that, but this will be Lori and I's first Christmas, just Lori and I. Like, since we've been married, this will be the first time that we have our own Christmas. So that'll be it'll be fun. It'll be a good Christmas. Yeah. So we had the snow and the Christmas decorations. And then we went back to Białogard.
This past weekend.
Past weekend. Sylvik and Eva Sobchak are 2 of the most amazing people you'll ever have the chance to meet. And they're the pastors of the church there in Białogard. Yeah. They treat us so good every time we come. So we try and make a point to do the same to them when we can. And but we're developing a relationship with them that's just really, really special. You know, when we get to Białogard now and we walk in, it's just it's home. It's wonderful. It's just it's a wonderful place to be. And again, a lot of history there. Church teams have gone before us there. Our daughter Christina knows everybody there, and the people are getting a big kick out of noticing that I'm Christina's father, because we look so much alike. But that's been very, very neat. So we got to spend time with them. I had an amazing church service on Sunday. Yeah. They had communion, and the congregation was just overwhelmed in its thankfulness to God. And it just the prayers of the people and the thank you and the wonder, it just went on and on and on. And it was so special. It was so beautiful. It's one of the neatest church services we've been in over here, especially, but in a long time. Yeah. Just to hear the people just pour their hearts out, and just wonderful, beautiful place. Yeah. So we did that this last weekend, and now we're back, of course. And in the meantime, in between that, then Lori had the Festival of Lights at her school. Yes.
So there's all these light ceremonies around the world that take place roughly around the same time, which is fascinating. But what each grade did was, each grade was responsible for choosing their light ceremony that they wanted to, or celebration festival that they wanted to highlight, and then present some activities that people could do to learn more about them. So
of course your class chose.
my class didn't choose. I chose for my class.
And
I chose Hanukkah.
Hanukkah, of course.
For those of you who go to our church, Christina does a Hanukkah party at church almost every year. So we celebrate Hanukkah, and so for me it was an easy choice to choose that. And so then I taught my students how to play dreidel.
And incidentally, they didn't have any dreidels, and we couldn't find any dreidels. So I got to make dreidels, which was really a lot of fun. So I got to make a bunch of dreidels and send them to the school, which was a good time.
And the kids were so excited because they thought that they were just using them for the game. They didn't realize that they got to keep their dreidel.
They got to keep their little dreidels.
And so then when each of them left on Friday at the end of the Festival of Lights, they were like, I'm going to go home and play dreidel.
Yeah.
Like, you're probably not.
And we had some gelt to give them. They were more concerned with making sure they had the dreidel rather than the gelt. So, that was really cool. But it was neat to see all the kids playing, learning about, Hanukkah. And I had some people ask us, well, are you Jewish? Why do you celebrate Hanukkah? And we said, no, we're not Jewish. We're about as goy as we can get. But we love the Jews.
We open our Advent calendar.
Yeah, we open our Advent. We got our Advent calendar too. So we light the Hanukkah candles and then open the Advent calendar. But we love the Lord's people. We love the Jews and we love to support them. And this is one thing that we do whenever we do this, we remember to pray for the Jewish people, and pray for the peace of Jerusalem, and support God's people. I think that's important. And so no, we don't make any claim to be Jews or Jewish, but we do think that's important, and so we celebrate it and support our Jewish brothers and sisters, and remember at this time and all year, every time the feasts come up, every time something comes up like that, it's a time to remember and pray for God's people, that they would know Him and return to their love of Jesus. And so we do that. So that's why we celebrate Hanukkah. So that was a lot of fun, and it was a lot of fun to see the kids playing, and little Indian kids and Polish kids and Ukrainian kids and everybody playing with the dreidels and just having a really good time. So that was cool. So a lot has been happening. Thank you for being so patient about the updates. I've still got some small videos to post. I finally got permission from Silvic and Eva to post their pictures from Gdansk. So I'll be putting those up. Pardon the shaky camera work. I'll work on getting a tripod here sometime. But I figure it's more important to get the video and show you guys than to make sure it's professionally done, although we want to try and work on that. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your prayer. We appreciate your giving. It means the world to us. We've had some specific gifts come in lately. We did get some money for an instrument to try and get the guitar and amp that I need, and so that may be a video in itself. I have a query. I have a poser in what kind to get and what I'm going to get, and what's going to work best. Maybe you guys can help me figure that out. So that'll be this next week. And so for those of you that are supporting us, thank you. Thank you very much. You know who you are, and we appreciate you so much. For those of you that are praying for us, boy, we appreciate your prayers. We can feel them. There's there's always the temptation to have little things come in, but when people are praying for you, and people have got your back, it makes that a lot easier. So thank you. Continue to pray. Continue to pray that God opens doors. Things are starting to move, but God's timing is perfect, and we want to be right in the middle of God's will. We don't want to rush anything. We want to make sure that we're doing what He wants. So keep those prayers up. Keep them coming. We covet them. We really do, and we appreciate you. And I think that's pretty much it for this time.
Yeah, I think that's it.
So we'll have another video out before Christmas. I've got a special Christmas surprise. I think it's going to be a very fun video, and that'll be a good time. But before then, have a Merry Christmas. Enjoy this time of the year. Enjoy this season. And while you're enjoying the season, remember that the reason for the season is Jesus, and people need Jesus. So be praying for people, looking for ways to reach out to people. Think about us when you can, and say a prayer for the work that's being done over here, for Silvic and Eva, for Jack and Agnes, for Marek and Eva, for Nancy and Tomasz, all those that are active and working over here in the congregations and taking care of the flocks. So that's it.
Okay, that's it.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas.
go down.